Pelane, if I am correct in the assumption that the Waterberg region is understood to be among those that could be in that line saying, we want to be registered for the provincial conference, but allow us first to hold our own conference so that we are at the provincial conference legitimately so. How's this going to work?
I really don't know how this is going to work because the Phakgadi region in itself was supposed to start the registration at around 9 o'clock. It's 10:05 now, 1 hour, 5 minutes after the start that they should have really began with this. So we do understand that Baskop Makamo is the current Deputy Secretary, still inundated with that particular issue, and meaning registration is currently delayed. It is delayed because now they have to sort out the issues around Waterberg, whether or not their request would have been given through. So of course, Ziyanda Mngcobo will be giving you that particular outcome from the press statement that will be released now by the African National Congress formally when they do get that particular briefing underway, expected to be around 11 o'clock. But here, the registration, which is supposed to have begun at 9 o'clock, it has been delayed. Let me bring in the spokesperson of the Phakgadi region, who was supposed to be one of those who would have currently registered, Jimmy Machaka. Jimmy, there is a delay currently, and we understand it is because your fellow region there in Waterberg, they say that they want to be registered firstly for their own provincial conference, regional conference to continue and be allowed to come as a block when they do, of course, come for the provincial conference. Your reaction to that?
Look, is indeed correct that according to the communication, by now the delegates from Phakgadi region ought to have been finalizing their registration. Unfortunately, due to some other delays that the leadership is currently attending to, we have not done so. However, we remain confident that in due course, all systems will go. Delegates of Phakgadi will find themselves way inside the Phakgadi Stadium so that they get registered and collect their tags and ready themselves for the provincial conference. So while we acknowledge that there are some slight delay, but we remain confident that with the progress that has been made by leadership, in due course, all will be in order.
Let me take an advantage of you being an ANC member and a leader. Of course, you would be able to have a knowledge of if the Waterberg region decides that they are not going to be registering for the provincial conference because their demand has not been met. Do you foresee the provincial conference going ahead? Will you guys reach quorum?
In terms of the verified reports from National, you might have seen that with or without Waterberg, the ANC in the province will have surpassed the 70% threshold. So whether Waterberg becomes part of the conference or not, it does not in any way to affect the required threshold. But of course, like any other normal leader, normal member of the ANC will wish the conference to be attended by all regions, all delegates across the entire province.
Definitely. Jimmy Machaka, speaking on behalf of the Phakgadi region, of course you do know that the Phakgadi region has been at loggerheads with the current provincial secretary, Soviet Lakhanyane, talking now about the fact that there so seems that there was an issue around disputes and claiming that he may be fueling these disputes in order for them to be, a part of the conference so that some other branches could be disqualified whatsoever. But according to the NDCR report that we have seen, there's been a resolution of a lot of disputes. And those which, of course, have been found to be against, they have been told to go and rerun, meaning that they will not be part of the coming conference should it begin anytime soon from tomorrow. So, yes, just giving us an indication that even if Waterberg decides to withhold its support, they would have the threshold of the province here, Koli, would still have been met, about 70%, and they could still continue. But whether or not the registration point here would continue anytime soon, I'm sure that will only come once they've been able to deal with the issue around Waterberg, demanding that they hold their regional conference first before the provincial conference, and that should be tomorrow.
Phakgadi, thank you very much for that update. Interesting developments there in Limpopo. We shall see how this conference is going to conclude.